So let's talk about how to set up the call, what to do when they reply back, that sort of stuff. So real quick, just to recap from the last video, if they reply back to you and they say they're not interested or they tell you to take them off their list or anything like that, don't fight them. Just say, okay, thank you, hope you have a nice day. The point here is to be collaborative, not combative, right? If they're not interested, if they're not in their buying window, if they don't like you, you don't have time to try and convince them or convert them or do anything to make them change because you've got too many new prospects you should be able to reach out to, too many people already interested in your services to spend your time wasted on someone who doesn't like you or doesn't care, right? You want to not push them. You don't want to get marked as spam. You just want to say, okay, cool, hope you have a nice weekend, and move on to the next, right? But if they reply back and say, yes, I'm interested, then you obviously put them on it. You go, the next step is to get them on a call, right? So you're going to want to settle on a time with them for a call. You want to settle on a specific time with them, hopefully within the next 2 to 3 days. But as soon as you possibly can, you want to get them on a call. Once you've agreed upon a time, you want to send over a Google Calendar invite on your Google Calendar for that time with a Zoom link. You're going to want to get a free Zoom account so that you can do your sales calls. And that's how you're going to want to confirm that you have them on the call. The day before, like the day of that email, that sales call, you're going to want to send them a reminder email saying, hey, looking forward to our call today at 3 p.m. or whatever you decide on. That way you can make sure that they show up for your sales call. Now, there's sometimes some response in the middle. Not every time that you send this out, they're like, hey, yes, this is wonderful. Let's hop on a sales call. And you just set up a time. Sometimes they'll ask you questions like, oh, yeah, this is interesting. Can you tell me about your experience or what's your pricing, all that sort of stuff. They might ask specific questions. You need to understand that you really can't go through the sales process over email because the sales process is so dependent, the process that is so dependent on face-to-face human-to-human connection. That is the basis for good selling. Levels at services at this level, at price points that we're talking about here. You need to do it over the phone. So you're going to want to address their question. You want to answer it. So if they're like, how much do you charge? You let them know, hey, my pricing is based on the needs of the project. I like to get to know your situation before I give you a specific answer. Even you tease an idea. I have a few ideas I think might work. I'm curious to see what you think about them. How does your calendar look later this week? And then you set up a time and you move forward, right? You want to address their question without answering it fully all the time, and then just move it down to the call, add a little more intrigue on the call, and set up a time for the call. If they say, hey, I don't want to talk with you over the phone, I only want to do this versus over text, they're not going to be a good customer. Say, hey, I only do business with people I've met at least over Zoom. If you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and then you part ways, right? No worries. There's plenty of good prospects out there. You don't have to waste your time with people who don't fit. Another thing when it comes to setting up your calendar, I've found that if you just send them a Calendly link, that doesn't work. When it's a cold contact, when money hasn't changed hands yet, if you send them a Calendly link, they tend not to book a call. But for whatever reason, if you go back and forth and ask them if such and such a time is a good time, and they say yes, and then you send over a calendar invite, that tends to work better. So that's what I found from my experience, so I recommend that's what you do. So again, if they reply back not interested, you just be happy, say okay, and move on to the next. If they reply back asking specific questions, you answer them a little bit, tease that you'll answer the rest of them on the call, set up the call, right? If they can answer back that they're interested in, they're excited, cool, you set them up on a call. Again, the goal here is to, if they're interested at all, to get them on a call where you can get to know them, run through the sales process, and do everything there. But that's how you handle replies, that's how you set up calls, and that's how you follow up to get people on the call.